Hello, welcome to the Cults Exist podcast. This is your host, Joey. Hello, everybody. I'm the host of the Cults Exist podcast. Enough of that. How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful day out. It's supposed to rain this weekend. I don't know when I'm gonna release this a podcast, so maybe it won't be on the weekend and you'll be confused, or maybe it'll work out coincidentally, or maybe it'll work out coincidentally. All right. I tried to leave work. I remember at my last job, I didn't want to. I hate being every job I've ever had is just me in my head thinking, okay, how could I get out of work today? How could I get out of work? I don't want to be here. It sucks. So I remember I was at a job before this one, and I was like, how the hell could I get out of here? And I was like, I just want to leave. So the bathroom was right next to my boss's office, so I went up into the bathroom, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna fake throwing up. So I didn't want to make it too obvious I was throwing up. So I was just like, and I would like open the door and like peek my head out and like look at my boss. And I'd be like, oh shit, he's not paying attention. So I closed it again. And I'd be like, I remember I opened the door and I like stood there for a second looking at my boss, hoping he would look up at me, but he didn't look at me. And I was like, what the fuck? So I went downstairs and I got angrier and angrier. And I was like, I should have just said something when I was right there. So I was like, I'm going to say it now. I'm going to go march up there. I'm going to go march into his office and I'm going to tell him that I just got sick. So I went into his office and I was like, hey. And he was like, what's up? And I was like, remember like 15 minutes ago when I was in the bathroom? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, well, you probably heard like coughing noises. Well, that wasn't coughing. That was throw up. And he was like, what? And I was like, that was throw up. I was throwing up. And he was like, okay. And I was like, that wasn't coughing. That was throw up. And he was like, what? So what are you saying? And I was like, all right, I'll see you in a little bit. And I just went back downstairs. And that's how awkward I am and stupid. He probably looked at me like, why did he just tell me that he was in the bathroom throwing up? Like, why did he just he's going to tell me when he's taking a shit now? Fucking. So I didn't get to leave. Because that's my life. That's how my life goes all the time. Every time I try to do something, it goes wrong. I remember I had a job once where I was fixing up old hotel rooms. We were like painting them and shit with this crew. And one day we decided, because this hotel was owned by a billionaire named Charles. And one day we decided, we're like, for lunch, why don't we just go to Weis? Weis is a grocery store. We're like, why don't we go to the grocery store and just buy like steaks and beans and we'll just have like a big cookout. Charles isn't around, so who cares? So we're like, yeah, let's fucking do it. So we went and we got all this shit from the grocery store. And then we went to the one guy's house who lived close by. And before we could even start cooking up the steaks and stuff, we were just like messing around in the house and stuff, walking around. And I opened up one of the cupboards and there was a thing of honey. And there was a honeycomb in there. And I was like, oh, crap, honey. And my coworker was like, here, try some. And he gave me a spoon, and I just started eating it out of the jar. And then all of a sudden my coworker was like, oh, shit, Charles is here. He just pulled in. And I was like, oh, no. So I ran upstairs with another coworker followed behind me. And we went into the bathroom. And we listened while my other coworker was downstairs like, yeah, Charles, we're just, I'm just here alone. And I'm here all alone, and I just was grabbing something to eat really quick. And he's like, "Oh, you gotta use the bathroom? All right, I'm coming up to the bathroom. I'm gonna show you where the bathroom is. Come up, follow me. I'm gonna show you where the bathroom is." So me and the other coworker, I look at him and I'm like, "What do I?" And he's like, So he jumps into the shower, closes the curtain, and I was like, "Oh shit, what do I do?" And before I could even think about what to do, I was such a moron that I was still eating honey. Like I took a scoop of honey and I put it in my mouth while I'm thinking like, what am I gonna do? And then I didn't close the door all the way and it just swings open. And this billionaire guy, Charles, sees me with a fucking spoonful of honey in my mouth in the bathroom with the lights off. And he looks at my other coworker and he's like, what is going on right now? And I was like, I'll be right out. And then I quickly shut the door and I was like, I gotta go. I was telling my coworker who's hiding in the shower, I was like, I gotta go right now, I gotta leave. And he's like, don't you fucking leave me in the shower. I was like, I gotta leave. He's like, don't you fucking leave me in the shower. So in the end, I could lie about these stories. I could embellish them. I could say that I left and then Charles the billionaire went in there and he took a shit while that guy hid in the shower. But I don't want to embellish it. The billionaire guy just ended up leaving, taking a shit in his own house, I guess. But yeah, it was a really funny story. I guess you had to live my life up until that moment to understand how fucking hilarious it was. I was eating honey in the bathroom. Wow, how wonky and crazy. But yeah, it was pretty wild. Pretty wild stuff. But I don't know. Am I even recording a fucking podcast right now? Do you ever wonder what you're doing with your life? Like there's so many options what you could be doing and it's just like it's overwhelming and you're just like, what am I doing? I wish it was like 3 things I could be. Like here, you could be a construction worker. Construction worker is too much. That implies like so many different things. You could either fucking hammer 2x4s, you could be a doctor, or you could be a dog. I'd fucking choose a dog every day. Every day of the week, I'd choose to be a dog. I think cats, I feel like I mentioned this before, but I feel like cats are heaven. Like being a cat is in heaven. As if you have a good owner, you're just like, you just fucking sit in the sun and stare like you're better than everybody. You just stare at people like you're just like, ugh. I feel like cats, if they could talk, all they would do is just go, ugh, ugh, ugh. That's the noise they make all the time. I had a cat escape. We had an indoor cat, and me and my ex, and we opened the door once, and the cat darted outside, and me and her chased after it and almost ran out into the road. Then it turned around and went down this little alleyway, and we cornered it, and I grabbed it, and it sunk its fucking little cockroach teeth into my arm, and I squeezed it because I didn't want her to escape. So I squeezed like the fluff on the back of her neck, and I held her close to me with her teeth sunk into my fucking arm. She's like scratching and fucking shitting and pissing everywhere. So I grabbed her and we ran inside. She was like terrified until we ran inside, and then she went back to her while I was like bleeding. My arm swelled up. I had to go to the fucking hospital. I was like, please tell me she has her rabies shot. And my ex was like, yes, she has a rabies shot. Because I looked up rabies. Rabies is like one of the worst diseases you could ever get on the planet. It is the worst fucking disease. It's incurable. Once it starts, it doesn't stop. You're dead. That's it. And look it up. It's crazy. It's the craziest fucking disease ever. So don't ever get it. But I forget, there was a story I wanted to tell, I guess. It's not really a funny story, but I started talking about my friend Josh. But we used to get drunk and just be crazy together, and he used to like hold fully loaded guns to my head when we were drunk, because he was a maniac. Like actually one time I picked him up. I was with my other friend and I had to go pick him up and I couldn't find him, so I called him up. I'm like, hey, you're not at the spot you said you were going to be. And he's like, just keep driving a little bit. So I kept driving, and then all of a sudden my back door swung open and he jumped in, and he was covered in like grease and blood. He was always covered in blood. It never made any sense. And he held a machete to my neck. And he's like, drive, motherfucker. So that was my best friend. Fucking holding knives and guns to my head. But one time when I lived in Philly, he came over and we got really drunk together. And I remember we were just sitting there. It was around Christmas. And we had blinking lights inside the house, like Christmas lights inside the house. And they were blinking. And he's like, those lights are annoying. And it was dark except for that. And I was like, yeah, well, there's little cameras in the lights, and they're recording everything you're doing. And he's like, what did you just say? And I was like, there's cameras recording what you're doing. So he was like, ugh. And he got up and he went and he took his 45 out of his backpack and he cocked it and he held it to my head and he's like, what did you just say? And I was like, kill me, motherfucker. Do it. Fucking do it. And I was serious. I probably would be dead right now if I fucking, out of spite. He could have just killed me out of spite. I swear to God, his finger went on the trigger, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking do it if you don't tell me that there's no cameras in the lights." I was like, "Nope, there's cameras in the lights." That's how much of a spiteful asshole I am. I had a gun to my fucking head, and I was like, not gonna break, motherfucker. And then he stayed over that night, and he pissed on the rug. He pissed his pants, and it went through onto the rug. And then we didn't talk for 3 months after that. It was funny because we got in this big fight, and he's like, "Do you know what I am? I'm a motherfucking Viking. I'll take what I want." That's what he told me. And then he left. And then he called me up, and he's like, "Hey, I forgot my protein powder." And he came back, and he got his protein powder, and he left. It was pretty funny. But yeah, we didn't talk for 3 months after that. And he came back, and then we talked again. It feels like I'm talking shit about him because he was one of my best friends. But yeah, I guess I am talking shit. He held a gun to my head many times. But I don't know. That's life, I guess. Sometimes you get guns held to your head by your best fucking friend.